It is a truly wild place. I think we often take that for granted.
Erica Buckwalter does not take it for granted. As manager of educational programs at the Oklahoma City Zoo, she takes in every moment, studying each animal.
The biodiversity around here, it's just so different than anything that you've seen before.
It may be the reason Jennifer Parker returned to the continent 13 times.
And when you're in Africa, that's one of the closest experiences to nature that you can have, and most unique experiences.
Yeah, leopard is my favorite animal.
Elusive and dangerous, a leopard is strong enough to pull its prey to the top of the baobab tree.
It is a successful hunter. 75% of their hunting, they are successful.
Why so?
I think first because they are solitary animals. So if you miss, it's your fault.
These single moms rarely do, and when mom hunts, this little one will have to hide. Until then, it's time to play, even in the rain. The leopard is not the only predator in the Big Five. The other, equally dangerous.
I mean, absolutely amazing. We're so lucky.
Never seen anything like that?
Never seen anything this close. No, it's amazing.
Rebecca Snyder did this day, 5 yards from the truck.
And just to see how strong she is, right? Like how powerful they are.
I felt confident that we would see lions on this trip, but I didn't think we would see one that close up right after it had killed a wildebeest.
The collar was likely placed on her by researchers following one of the pride's best hunters. But this kill, she wouldn't share with the pride. The silverback weighs in at close to 400 pounds. His main job is protection.
He's looking at that kind of the plant. After the baby throw out, it's coming down again.
But that won't be necessary today. Instead, he settles back for lunch. And eventually, a nap. Leaving mom in charge. That means it's time for bath. Juvenile gorillas are curious. Curiosity is seemingly as boundless as their energy. Energy their older siblings often experience. And the little ones can often be reminded of their place every now and then. Most don't mind posing for the cameras. while there are those who prefer their privacy.
You said enough, you had enough picture.
The biggest difference that you'll notice between these mountain gorillas and those you'll see at the Oklahoma City Zoo are a few different features and a lot more hair. The reason is because the mountain gorillas you'll see here in Rwanda are a different species.
And this is the only species of great ape that's increasing.
A species that Diane Fossey thought would be extinct before the year 2000. We're seeing that when you make that kind of investment, when you're here for the long term, when communities are involved, that can turn the tide.
Involving communities by showing them why this population matters.
The poachers, some of them before, they used to be like the poachers. But after involved in tourism, we don't have any poaching problem. After some of them involved in tourism, we use them as umbrella, as the eyes, as the conservation of this park.
Both the government and Tara's team hope those outside the park will see that value too.
Our motto is helping people saving gorillas because we know ultimately for the gorillas to thrive, the people must thrive as well.
A motto Felix saw become successful in his own story.
It gives me a feeling of satisfaction to see that, my friends, my neighbors are not only supportive of the work that is happening for these conservation efforts, but to have that understanding, because back in the day it wasn't like that. I only wish that Dan would come back and see all this movement that she started, from a small tent in the park, how it has grown and look at where we are now.
The mission is the same, protecting not only a species, but families like Kwitanda.
Like us, they form lifelong friendships, they mourn the loss of a family member, and they take care of their most vulnerable. And so they are certainly a species that deserves to have a place on this planet.
And here in Rwanda, deep in the midst of the mountains, they may have found a way. Despite great obstacles, it's a blueprint to follow. 55 years in the making.
50 years ago, animals just basically covered the Serengeti. And each year, they've been diminishing. And we've got to make sure that we keep this treasure for future generations.
Future generations of mankind and the wild that walk among them.
When I got to see baby elephants, and so many of them, it was really important for me because I teach so often about the doom and gloom, and there was so much hope and positivity, and I got to be a part of that. Look what's happening. Look what you can visit if we just become good stewards for our environment. There's so much hope out there, and it made me really happy.
Hope springing from calf and cub.
If you had told me, young Erica, that I would be on the ground in Africa experiencing this, I would have told her I was dreaming.
And that's part of the point to places like this.
Of course, we try to get them to care about the animals first, connect them with the animals, and then most people are, really interested in the animals, start to understand that the animals and us need the same sorts of things, and then from that, we can help them understand, okay, we're all sharing the planet together. When we connect people with the animals at the zoo, we want them to understand what's happening to their counterparts in the wild.
To understand what's happening on the savanna of the Serengeti or the rainforests of Rwanda. What's happening in countries across the globe.